Hi everyone, and welcome back to the cramped confines of the Ball and Chain Tavern here in Wayloon, which is where we start out as an aspiring Shadekai, which is going to be the subject of this life we're about to embark on, or as I should say, have already embarked on. I've I've taken the liberty of going to 17 to just familiarize myself a little bit with some of the bits and pieces because I've never done a melee Shadekai, never played with these chain attacks at all. So I just wanted to see a little bit how the various things in the tree worked so I could talk about them in at least a semi-informed manner. So I think I'm going to call this one Spin for the Win because the theme is going to be, although we're a single weapon fighter, we're using the kukri and the heavy investment in the Vistani tree, which also I don't think I've done too much of before. I think I did it once on a knife fighting monk, but that's I think that's been it for me in Vistani. So that's another bit of something fairly new. So yes, fast attack animation, single weapon fighting, nasty single target damage, but also we are looking to have plenty of AoE between the two chain attacks we've got from the Shadekai tree, and later on we're going to try and acquire the whirlwind attack, which many would say is probably overkill. It's available, of course, in heroic, but because we are a little bit pushed for feats as a barbarian, we're almost a pure barbarian. I think it's going to be an 18 barbarian, one fighter to get an extra feat out of that, and one favored soul. I'll explain why, but broadly speaking, we haven't gone 20 barbarian because we're not taking a barbarian capstone. So frenzied berserker. Some of these tier 5s are a bit lukewarm, to be honest. This one focuses on strike through, which we're not doing as a single weapon fighter. That one, Supreme Cleave, we're not doing that either because we have our own Supreme Cleaves in the form of these chains. As I mentioned, it's the first time I've played around with them, and if you've never tried them before, I definitely recommend to give them a go. You will not be disappointed. Hopefully I'll be able to demo that in a little while. Going to reverse the trend and talk first about the build and bits and pieces, and then try my hand in a couple of little quests. So as you can see, I've got most of what I want in the Berserker. The only thing that's missing is the tier 5 there, another excellent one. More strength, more critical damage. Imbue dice are a bit, how can I put this? Let's call them mediocre on this build. There is an imbue, of course, this one here, but it's not amazing. And if you have choices like further down the line, like I know a popular thing is the either Harbinger of Chaos or the Law what equivalent. For this build, I think the two imbue dice there, we probably could do better investing in a different feat. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But we've got loads of good stuff in this tree. We've got what have we got? Extra rages, cracking attack, which is great on several fronts. Taking opposing fortification down is awesome because as a ragey build, we can't use precision, which means straight away we are 25 fort bypass down on where we should be, as well as some attack bonus because power attack, which we're having to use, detracts from our to hit roll, of course. So nice to have some fort bypass for the big targets. That's neither here nor there, but this one's very good as well. 2W damage extra when we hit with cracking attack. So as you can see there, I'm leading with that. In fact, I'm leading with my two decent sort of primer attacks, so we get 2 W extra, and if it's a big target we debuff the fort on it, and then there 20 more double strike, and then whatever we follow up with, which if it's a pack of things, the chains are then going to be two weapon more and 20 double strike more, so it's going to make a mess. So important to start, and of course the rapid slash from Vistani is another big help to single weapon fighters, because that too is an AoE. So even before arriving in Epic and before getting the whirlwind attack and the what's the other one, the quick cutter, I plan to use both of those. We're going all out on the spin to win theme. So yes, even before Epic we've got 3 decent AoEs there, so that's been good. Vistani, lots of stuff to like for a dagger or kukri build, loads of good stuff in here. Haste boost, we've got 1 W extra, centering if that's a thing for your build, straight extra attack and damage, double strike there, immunity to energy drain plus some PRR and MRR defenses. Undead as a favoured enemy, we've got more melee power there, more melee power in the capstone, as well as more ability scores and attack speed, so that's a pretty awesome capstone. So good in fact that many two-handed builds go all out in this tree, despite the fact that a lot of the things like this line are completely useless to them. In the cores we've got some nice things as well. We've got deflect missile in there. We've got some more double strike in there. This one, if we're using a kukri, isn't going to be so relevant because we already get 2 competence bonus to critical multiplier from the Frenzied Berserker tree. But while using a dagger, we would still get the +1 crit threat range. And I was using at first the gold cursed dagger, the level 3 gold cursed dagger from the salt marsh, and we may actually give that one a try. I might epicify that one, use that in epic and see what we can do with it. At the moment I made myself this is, I mean, there's a lot mentioned about the horrible loot drop rates in Mithranor. These fallen age weapons drop reasonably regularly, so I think you'd be unlucky if you did a full run through the chain and you didn't get 2 to be able to make one of your choice at the vendor there in the public area. So we've gone ahead and made a Fallen Age Kukri. That's serving as well. I think, well, I hope it'll serve as well until we reach Epic. So the plan here is to take that core and fill out the rest of the Vistani tree. Whatever is left over, I don't think there will be too much left over, will there? But whatever is left over, we'll put a few points into whatever trance we decide to take. Now I've decided to go 18-1-1 instead of pure barbarian. One of the reasons for that is the battle trance. If we were going pure, we would have to, I think, probably have to go into Harper and spend 8 points here for Know the Angles. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, the trances in these universal trees do not give you, you can see there, insight bonus to damage and tactical feat only. They don't give a bonus to attack. And that's becoming increasingly important in some of the newer content at the end game. So we're going for a trance from a class instead. Favoured Soul is the popular one. I think, what's the Dark Apostate? I think that could do it for us too. I might just stick with Favoured Soul because that's the one I know. I've planned to go for a Wisdom trance. So that's the plan for the last 2 levels. We'll take 1 level of Fighter to give us an extra feat that we need to squeeze everything in. 1 level of Favoured Soul for that battle trance. So Reaper points I've put accordingly. We're not interested in spell power, but we are interested in these little bits of extra wisdom that we can eke out. And spell points, actually, given that our trance will consume spell points, isn't such a bad thing either. Reflex saves, because I'm going to try to incorporate evasion onto the build, which will come with level 26 and the third core of Shadow Dancer. So we're going to use light armor and obviously boosting strength in the Dread tree. I won't dwell too much on the gear. It's the family set from Shan. The kukri I've already shown you. A couple of pieces for the gem of many facets. It's a Vulkor's Might. So I've got the gem of many facets and the bracers. They're the what is it? Bracers of the claw. And just various bits and pieces to sort of complement the build. To start off with, in fact, maybe even still now, it's the only piece that gives us ghostly. So the ethereal ring from Saltmarsh, quite nice for giving the weapons no mischance against reapers and ghosts and that kind of thing. Nice invisibility clickable on there too. That's quite a nice one. Comes from the sands, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it comes from the desert sands. I can't remember what quest it is, but especially at the level it comes, 8 strength, attack speed, very nice. And then the clickable on there, 6 quality bonus on strength, very nice. So I've thrown that on the hotbar to use. Another one from the sands, Ring of Baphomet, again quite nice, although it's doubling up on the strength. Demonic Shield is very nice, especially at our low level. Those 120 profane bonus to 10 hit points can be pretty instrumental, especially when coupled with our only other source of healing, if you want to call it that. It's more like a buffer for damage. 150 10 hit points for the Blood Tribute, which is in our Berserker tree. Anything else noteworthy for the gear? Yeah, Agartha's belt. I've shown this one before, I think. I take this one all the way to the cap, especially with the profane melee power it's got in there. Ram's Might, very good for our build. What else have we got? This hat is quite nice. Sort of an upgraded version of the, is it Crown of Butterflies from Fae? So we've got some beefier stats and we just happen to have a Reaper bonus and an extra imbue dice. Imbue dice, as mentioned, not amazing on our build. Could totally do without that if it was something like, I don't know, what else could it be? Probably anything other than that. Healing amp, let's say, it would be more useful, although we do have some healing amp there anyway in the form of the 15 enhancement from the Crown of Summer. I think that's about all on the gear side. So, just a quick word on where I've been planning this for a long time. I've read plenty in the Barbarian forum, been hearing about these chain attacks and that they're pretty good. We're in the lucky position that we have plenty of racial points to invest in here. So what nice things can we get from the Shader tree? 2 sneak attack dice, upgrades all along this side to the chain attack. That's pretty nice. Extra dodge, ignoring dodge cap. Now that coupled with quick cutter, which also has an element of that, should push us quite high for dodge in light armor. Given that we plan to be in both Dreadnought and Shadow Dancer, hopefully the dodge, given that both those trees can boost the dodge cap, hopefully the dodge can be pretty decent. So we've got the extra chain attack there, and then more nastiness on the chain, dizzying spike chain. I've seen that go off already. This core area, there's one element that's a little bit disappointing to me. It looks great on the face of it. Wisdom for our trance to be. We've got an invis there, an invis wings there, and then cutting down the cooldown. Now, I don't know how you folks read it, but the way I read it, those two are supposed to be on separate cooldowns. I haven't seen the question answered anywhere in the forums with my searching that I've done, so I really don't know. But at the moment anyway, I've only got the jaunt, the rush forward one on the bar, because using one puts the other on cooldown as well. So I just see it's pretty pointless to have them both. So the shadow, the jaunt, 6 seconds in vis plus the run forward boost on a 30-second cooldown. Not terrible on its own, but 6 points required to invest to get to that stage. I suppose the counter argument to that is, what else are you going to put those 6 points into? Because a lot of the stuff down here is pretty lukewarm, aside from the sneak dice. Displacement is nice, and all the stuff relating to the spiked chain attack, which I can totally recommend. Just a word on the displacement and any spell casting clicking in general, like let's say our Good Hope, our Night Shield clickable. What else have we got? This thing from the Cape of the Rock, the rock's strength, quality strength, the Madstone boots, all of that stuff, plus the displacement. Make sure you get it all out of the way first and then do rage, because once the rage is going, I'm sure you seasoned barbarian players will know you have to switch it off again, toggle it off to be able to refresh any of the other buffs that you want to do. So that is a little bit awkward, but I've learned to sort of live with it. Now, interestingly, the Madstone boots, which come from the, what's it called, the Reavers, is it the Reavers Fate Heroic Giant Hold Raid? It says they preclude spell casting, but from my experience at least, I can still do the little clickable things, and probably displacement too, while those are going, but definitely not while rage is going. So I tend to do all my preparation stuff first, then hit rage, and then I've really got to wait until the rage wears off usually. It's mostly lasting around 2 minutes, displacement, boots, that kind of thing, about 2 minutes, and the rage is about 2 minutes as well at the moment, so it's kind of tallying okay, but a little bit clunky. The other thing I'm having bother with, and will do until the next level, I think, is no, actually 17, isn't it? The tireless rage, we just got that now. So up until 17, as I'm sure seasoned barbarian folk will know, you have the choice to either live with the slowdown of the rage wearing off, or carry a stack of lesser resto potions to get rid of that lethargy that you get when the rage wears off. But on 17 Barbarian, you get the tireless rage, and that ceases to be an issue. So, very pleased to have that. I think that's about it. That's the three things that have bugged me a little bit so far. The two jaunts being on the same cooldown, the having to constantly chug resto potions to get the rage effects off, the lethargy off after the rage ends, and the issues with not being able to cast while raged, which I've just had to get used to. Or just toggling the rage off if I need to put something on. Like before an end fight, I'll just toggle off, put everything back on, re-rage, and go for it. That kind of thing. Right. So yeah, plan for I've got halfway through the sort of plan, the envisaged plan, such as it is. I became aware that my initial plans for this were taking us down a very similar course to the Paladin. It was going to end up with bucket loads of hit points, be extremely defensive. I was looking at something in the like main as macro technique, which would have made us really defensible with the absorbs and stuff you get in there, on top of the standard barbarian damage reduction stuff. At the moment, we're on 8% resistance to all damage. But then I thought you're just going to end up repeating the same thing that you did before. You know, it's going to be extremely survivable, and you're not going to be doing, you know, enormous amounts of damage. So I thought, right, let's shelve that. We can always switch it round, you know, by rejigging the epic trees. But to start with, we're going to go all out for the damage side of things, more or less, and see how that works out for us. See if we can just kill things before they become an issue for us. At least that's the plan. So Dreadnought as the main tree. That has some really nice selling points with our build. The sort of action boost synergy. There's an extra 1W just for being in that mantle, isn't there? There is stacking up vulnerability on boss targets, which we otherwise wouldn't have. And there's also 15% more damage on helpless targets, which, given that the weapon of choice is going to be the Maw from the Threats Old and New raid, which has, among other things, a paralyzing thing on it, hopefully will cause quite a bit of helplessness and be able to take full advantage of that. So, and then a cracking epic moment as well, which macro doesn't really have. The Dreadnought epic moment is very compelling, I think. So I look forward to giving that a try. So yes, Dreadnought, Shadow, and obviously Fury for the quick cutter and the rage healing. So nothing new or innovative there, but definitely offensive. So we're gonna try that, and if we end up getting cut to pieces too often, then perhaps I can look to fit a rune arm into the equation and rejig a little bit, see how we go with that. Live dice roll. Nothing to write home about. So, quick look at the feats, all very standard stuff. As mentioned, I've not been able to squeeze too many in, but we've got the main ones. Oh, fast movement as well from the barb. You've got to love that. So all the single weapon line, offhand versatility, because we've got nothing in the offhand. Now, if I'd have gone with a rune arm, I think I might have taken that off, because all offhand versatility gives you then when you've got a rune arm is one imbue dice, which, as I've mentioned, our imbue is not too hot. What else have we got? Power attack, because we can't use precision with rage. The rage would always knock it off, which would be a nightmare. I think that's where we're at with the feats at the moment. All the single weapon line, offhand versatility, power attack. Oh, and improved crit slashing, obviously. So, let's go ahead and see if we can get into some questing. So, wanting to show my basic approach as it's been up to now. So go in with the cushion of the blood tribute going. Blood tribute, if you didn't know, is in the frenzied berserker tree, quite low down. And if you put 3 points into it, which I definitely recommend, it's 150 temp hit points, each time you trigger it, and you do get a stacking penalty to con, which will reduce your max hit points. But it says until you rest or die, but it's until quest completion as well. It doesn't carry through the quest completion. I'm pretty certain of that. So unless you're taking a hammering playing on the higher levels, I think we should be okay, pretty much okay. So we're kind of, if you're used to playing with the Warlock temporary hit points, it's kind of the same thing with the Stanch, just not dealing in as big a numbers. But this is on a very short cooldown, so it should do a fairly decent job for us, I'm hoping.
Here, prisoners are interrogated before they are thrown inside the walls.
Right, so as mentioned, get the buffs up first. Get everything done before we throw the rage on.
You feel a wrenching sensation, as if you have been torn away from the normal world. Then, the shadows...
So cracking attack, rapid slash, and then the chain thing. And the chain just annihilated everything.
The world shifts back to normal. Screams and the clash of arms can be heard outside. The docks.
So that's all I'm going to try and do. Cracking attack, rapid slash, chain.
Prisoners roam the streets. The arrival of the Shadowfell was just the start of a full-scale assault.
And if I can remember, before going into a fight, to hit the invis... the little shadow jaunt thing for a little bit more defense. Oops. Well, I know they're not exactly amazing, those shadows, but one chain attack takes care of that, which is lovely. So you can see the strength of the AoE already. Very potent.
A purple dragon knight rallies.
I forgot to put the blood tribute, but we have had a trigger of the demonic thing off the Baphomet's ring, so that's kept us going. Chains mopping everything up very nicely. You can see there the dizzying thing from the extra enhancement in the tree. Nice little bit of CC. So you can see there when we attack things, after using that little shadow jaunt thing, even by attacking you don't make yourself... I've gone wrong, haven't I? You don't make yourself visible again. So you could sort of jaunt into a set of opponents and then still, while invisible, take advantage of that extra defense and butcher them that way. I think that could be a nice strategy going forward for us. Just need to remember to use all the tools we've got at our disposal. See, like there, they don't see us properly. Even when we're attacking, they're not, so they're having penalties there. So I think that could have some mileage to it. Now, where are we at with the rage? I think we can just about redo everything here. That's no good. I guess in bowling they'd call that one a spare. The less I speak about bowling, the better. Last time I tried it on a do with my old work, I don't ask me how, but I managed to throw one down the wrong lane, and the supervisor was not happy. Have I gone the wrong way again here? I think I have. So all was the same thing. Cracking attack, rapid slash, and then the chain.
Some Wayloon prison. The captain surveys the area.
Seems to have worked alright so far for me.
Once again, your world shifts and shadows swarm. You must keep the war wizard safe.
You have to be careful not to have too many special attacks, because that's probably the best way to make it less effective for somebody like me. I just need a smallish number of keys to go at. Reaper just chose a bad moment to pop up. He got annihilated by the chain.
Cries the war wizard as the magic barrier falls. The way through the docks is open once again. The magistrate lies dead on the floor.
Oh, we're still raged. I'm not going to bother to unrage. Let's just unload everything.
The Shah Priest. You've slain the mysterious Shadar Kai assassin and secured the Wayloon docks. Yet a shadow looms over Cormyr. The shadow of Shar. Only the brave will be able to protect the kingdom from what she has planned.
Right, let's go to the Stormreach Harbour now. And why don't we have a go at a couple of the lesser done quests down here, as they're not part of the Shan chain. The what do they call these down here? The Taken quests. What chain is this? I can't even remember. I know this is Fear Factory. What's it called, this? I don't even know what the chain's called, but I used to do these fairly regularly. Now there's more and more and more new and varied content with better loot. I guess they've been shunted somewhat to the side, but do we need that? Nope.
Concealed panels along the walls slide back
So
and
you can see we managed to get to a reasonable amount of strength. 71, flipping heck. That's pretty temporary, but still, I'm impressed with that. Stats-wise, by the way, we started with 16 on all the main ones because I was kind of spreading us a bit thin. We have Wisdom for our trance, so that was 16. We have... crikey, those mind flares didn't last a chance, did they? Wisdom for the trance, strength obviously, con, and I wanted some dex as well. Shadekai start with a decent dex, but I wanted to boost it because we plan to have evasion, so we need something for the reflex save. We get everything in there, yeah. So 16 dex, 16 con, 16 strength, and 16 whiz was the starting stats.
The familiar stench of the storm-reached sewers staggers you for a moment. These rusted pipes are too narrow for you to squeeze past. Given their apparent raised drawbridges at opposite sides of the room stand at attention.
Poor timing of the
proper levers
blood
to be
tribute.
thrown.
I triggered it at a time when I wasn't going to encounter anything. And if memory serves, it only lasts for a minute, so that's unfortunate. That's the only downside. I think the Warlock, most of the Warlock's temp hit point things last for longer than that. The what's it called? Shining Through. I think it's up to 10 minutes, isn't it? Or until it's needed. Still raged. Can we use the invis thing here just to throw them off the scent a bit?
Although you see stagnant water at the bottom of this pipe,
Oh, Reaper,
there is no ladder
not
down.
welcome, sir, not
It would
welcome.
appear you are going swimming.
I'm sure he'll join us at some stage. Hello. Oh, 2 Reapers joined us, okay. The dizzying chain took care of the second one very nicely, did you see? Now can we just rebuff while we're here? If we'd have wanted to go more defensive, we could have put up to 20 points in Occult Slayer, picked up some nice healing amp in the cores, plus much longer lasting rages. But I think I'm gonna make the theme of this one. Let's say if the Paladin last life was maybe 30-70 attack versus defense, let's make this one the other way around. At least 70-30 towards attack. See how we go on. My guildmate at the moment is in the process of creating a little dwarf bubble healer, which I'm thinking could go very well with this one at the cap in the legendary questing. And perhaps make up to some degree at least for the fact I have invested significantly less on defense this time around. No chest. Still trying to collect some Night Revel keys. I absolutely refuse to farm keys the old-fashioned way, doing that graveyard quest. I'm just not... don't have the patience to do that. So I just collect them as I'm questing, and I suppose maybe with the higher proportion of champions in the end game Reaper quest we like to do, perhaps that would be a better hunting ground for the keys than this kind of thing. Okay, we've got our 10 hit point buffer there, all ready to go. Haste boost and double strike boost ready as well. think with the Reaper's double strike plus the rapid slash bonus to double strike, I think we're probably pretty close to 100 because we're sitting at almost 50 by default with the nice extras we've got from various past lives that we've got. Can click on our uncanny dodge here. That's one thing I am looking forward to using, the uncanny dodge against the bosses. And it'll then be kind of a race against time. Can we finish the boss before the uncanny dodge boost runs out? And of course the Hood of Unrest we have as well. Particularly on melee characters, I definitely recommend those of you who don't have one, while this Halloween event is going on, they're dead cheap in terms of ingredients. Please pick up one of these Hood of Unrest. You can only have one per character, but it will save your life in a crunch situation. Okay, is there time for one more? Go on, we'll throw one more in. We'll do the one just down here, the, what is it, the warehouse or something. Okay.
From the depths of the warehouse, you can clearly hear the sounds of hard labor being performed over the shouts of an angry man. A man upon the upper walkway begins ranting at the workers below.
Who let these people in here? I thought I paid good money for security. Get rid of them, now!
For those of you who've not seen this quest before, it's sort of, they come in waves, don't they? The first two are very easy, just the workers and the taken, but then it starts throwing in mind flayers and greater hounds into the equation, which are obviously your must kill targets. Hounds can do some nasty damage, and the mind flayers can reduce stats. Can they do level drain as well? I'm not sure, but they're nasty anyway.
Bah! I have better minions at my disposal. They will easily dispose of you lot.
So the Taken are not too much of a problem, unless they turn up as Red Crown. Well, anything Red Crown can be an issue as well, we know. Trying to keep the cracking attack and rapid slash bonuses up as much as I can. Saving the chains for any packs of things we get.
I have plenty more taken
I
to kill you
think
with.
going forward I'm
But
going to
this
have to keep a
time,
close
they'll
eye and
have
keep
friends.
these two always on cooldown. Right, Mind Flare. See, already charisma damage. I do have some bottles actually from the night event, aren't they? These gloomy potions of resto. There we go. So that's one good thing to do with your any spare chocolate you've got towards the back end of the event. I think those potions just require chocolate and nothing else. Just remember to keep spamming the blood tribute to give us that 10 hit point barrier when we get hit.
Morley shouts.
And also, am I able to rebuff? Yes. Okay.
Already.
Okay, we'll just settle for that. Both rages. Should have put the displacement back on. can't do it now, we've raged. We've got some in hand here. We're not even using haste boost at all, or our Reaper's double strike, so let's get them thrown in. I think I'm right in saying we have only 2 imbue dice at the moment, and it is... what's it giving? Oh, it's not very much, is it? I think that must have been a double strike I saw. One left. Happy days. Okay, so we've got the uncanny dodge for this guy, and the 2 boosts. And if he hurries up, we'll still have the 2 rages active. Lovely stuff. Okay, I think we'll call that a successful operation. I'm well aware it's older content and I haven't exactly pushed the boat out in terms of difficulty. I totally would have done if this build had anything, you know, on the Healy side. Yes, I could have put a hireling in, but as mentioned the other day, they don't even keep up with you when you're questing. I just find it's more bother than it's worth. I suppose it could be left at the start, and if I have an absolute disaster, I could bring it in to give a heal, something like that. But I prefer to leave the level quite low and just go through like that, and just live with the fact that I have to manage on temp healing. I think that's the lesser of 2 evils. If he did have some if he did have some kind of self healing, he'd be overpowered, wouldn't it? But if he did have that, I think he could certainly do the softer content like Giant Hold. He could steam through there on Reaper 4 by the looks of it, from what we've seen there. But in any case, it's shaping up to be fun times. Something new, as mentioned. Never tried the chains before. Never really did much with the Shader Kai racial tree either. So looking forward to seeing how it pans out. In the pipeline, we've got the more AoE, as mentioned. We've got the quick cutter and the whirlwind attack coming to make up for the fact that things are not always going to die in one shot when we get to where we're going. And we also have a bit more. I think the build takes crush weakness. I'd done it all in the planner, but for some reason the planner kept crashing when I tried to load that particular build, so I've had to redo it and try and remember some of the things that I'd put in. I think we take patience as well for the 1 extra crit multiplier. It would seem to make sense on a build that, although single weapon fighting, has as much AoE as we do. The 2 chains and the quick cutter and the whirlwind, all of those with 1 extra crit multiplier. It would seem to make sense to take the slight decrease in attack speed for picking up more damage on all of those things. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much as always for looking. I will pick it back up again when we arrive in Epic and see how the story might continue. Happy questing everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.